Wizards of the Coast, as it nears the end of 2023, is running into another problem that a lot of companies do, and this is market saturation. So in today's video, we're going to discuss market saturation as it applies to Wizards of the Coast, but we're also going to talk about what happens when a company reaches that level where a lot of deals and discounts can happen. It helps you predict what the company is going to do. I may not be an economics professor, but even I can see when a company is facing stagnation. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. And a reminder that if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Tune in every day. There's new content uploaded daily. And of course, I look forward to seeing your comments in the comment section. So when you have a company as big as Hasbro Inc., and of course, they've got to rely on Wizards of the Coast more and more for their top shelf revenue. It leaves a lot of problems for Wizards of the Coast. They've got to generate that revenue and come up with new revenue tools to come up with the money each and every quarter, each and every year. They've got to find a way to keep their company growing. And this can lead to a lot of issues because a lot of companies face a stagnating pool of customer base where you just can't get to the next level and the next echelon of new customers, and it leads to a lot of issues for that company. And there are a variety of ways in which they deal with this. Let me show you something. Now, what we're looking at right here is found at the local Costco. This is a whole package deal where it's called the Legendary Bundle. It has a commander deck and 3 loose booster packs with a couple of individualized cards. It's situated in the main aisle of the Costco. It's got Pokemon on one side. It's got some toys on the other. It's $39.99. What do you think the company is trying to do by having it product placed in this particular area? Because that's what they do. They are paying for the privilege of having it placed in a premium location inside a Costco. It's not tucked off into a corner of your local Walmart store. It's right where everyone's going to see it. This is them trying to pick up new customers. This is the company trying to reach out to a new consumer base. Because as kids approach that wonderful Pokemon display, they're going to see Magic the Gathering. And although they may not know exactly what that is, their parents probably recognize it from high school or somewhere in the last 30 years. Chances are other adults recognize the brand and the name. And this is a way the company can discount the product, get it off the books, of course, but it's also a way they have a chance to draw in 1 or 2 new customers. It doesn't have to be thousands. It has to just be a few people that fall in love with Magic the Gathering or fall back in love if they played it as a teenager. This is a way the company can come out ahead. It's one of the strategic strategies they're going to use to try to get into the pocketbooks of people. And even if it is at a loss, even if it was at a loss, they overall are going to win as an economic strategy to generate more revenue for the company. So now that we've seen it in action, let's take a look at why market saturation is a threat to companies. The summary reads, market saturation is a scenario where the market growth trajectory of a given product stagnates. Companies experience market saturation when they stop gaining new customers. Businesses may employ strategies such as cost cutting, diversification, price reduction, and line expansion to tackle market saturation. So now that you've seen the actual summary of what market saturation looks like and why it could be a threat to a company, you can ask yourself, have you seen Walmart do any of these things? Have they used cost-cutting measures? Have they tried diversification? Of course they have. They have ended product lines that haven't done well. They've reclassified things like play boosters to save money to get the measures in place to still generate revenue. But the expansion of the customer base is the ultimate goal of most companies. So when you see something like that at your local Costco, it's actually not meant for you, a regular player. Great, you buy some. But it's meant for new players that they are trying to attract to the game. I know at a couple of local Costcos, those got bought out within hours. And that was not new players coming on board. That was other players seeing a good deal and grabbing as many as they possibly can. I've done this myself. I have some videos last year, the year before, where Costco had the 5 booster pack sets. But this is the first time we've seen something like a commander deck put together. And there was a time about 5 years ago where Wizards of the Coast even put little mini intro booster, decks together that could be given out at the local LGS for free. But the problem is not everyone goes to the local LGS. But people do go to Costco. They do go to the local Walmart. They go to Target. Even a grocery store is probably a pretty good place to put a few of these toys, kind of games on the shelves to get people attracted. There's a reason why Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, as a toy company and a board game making company, tries to put this into a board game format. They want to attract players to the game. They want to get the next generation of kid who will grow up and recognize the brand and buy into it as part of the company's growth strategy. So when you see some of these deals right now, when you see some of these crazy things going on, it is the company trying to find traction, to try to find a footing. It's not that they already don't put out a good product, but products stagnate when they reach that maximum potential for the market they're in right now. And they're trying to find a way to go forward, but they still have to generate money. It's very interesting to see how the company is going to play this out over the next few years as they face rising costs and the need from Hasbro for them to generate more money. The stagnation will probably become a greater wall and a bigger wall that they have to deal with. You may see them try to branch out into smaller and smaller offerings to keep the prices in line. And as you as a player can recognize now, as we take a moment to look at this as a whole, if you're looking at things objectively, not with passion, but objectively at the product lines, you can actually start to pick and choose which singles are going to be fun to play with, but also could hold value if you want to trade them in later, which products are likely to get the axe. So you might want to have a couple of those if you enjoyed them for future playtime. I mean, when you see what the company's done, and we've seen how they've axed things over the years, imagine you knew Brawl decks were never going to be around again. They've just been gone. Jumpstart boosters leaving the field. Even if they weren't that great, they were a lower entry point. They were just introduced incorrectly and they weren't made cheap enough for players. Wizards of the Coast thought they were cheap enough in their eyes, but not us as players. And definitely not from a new player perspective. Even here in Canada, I think a play booster box was like $79. Parents don't want to spend $100 on a board game. That's not, even if they recognize Magic the Gathering, that's not what they need to, that's not what they want to spend. They want to spend 30 or 40 bucks. Which is why that kind of display I showed you guys at the Costco is going to be so much more appealing if they get a chance to buy any of it, if they get a chance to see it. That's why they're doing it now in November, because you have the whole holiday season to try to get people to play the game, enjoy the game, Christmas break when people are off school. It makes perfect sense for the company to try strategies like this and pay that premium pricing to Costco and to companies like it to get prime display slots inside their stores. So when you see this stuff going on, don't just say, oh, it's a good deal. You know the company is having issues, and you can actually capitalize on it by taking advantage of some of these deals, but also taking advantage of knowing what the future holds. That they will try to twist and turn to try to find new avenues to get cash going, which means as they abandon or solidify into smaller product lines that are more streamlined, you as a player who may have some of these older ones could stand to generate more revenue later if you're a person who's trying to speculate, or if you're a person who just wants to enjoy the product. If you see it on sale and know that it's not coming back, this may be the time for you to grab the product. When we look at things like Lord of the Rings, that product line will end. And it won't come around again, probably for years and years, unless they make some kind of new licensing deal. So people have to own up to the fact that that product is probably going to be worth quite a bit of money. It's probably going to see accelerated growth just because of the fact it had a shorter production life. It's not coming around again. Licensing deals take years to come into effect, that even if they recreate it, excuse me, even if they recreate the deal and get a relicense to reissue stuff, it's going to be years down the line, and there'll be different changes made. So it won't be as original or as good because they water things down as they streamline. It's just a nature of the beast right now. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope I give you a little bit to think about. Let me know what you think about it in the comments sections. Add to the conversation here. Looking forward to reading them. And of course, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. We got Cyber Monday today. By the time you're watching this video, it's Cyber Monday. We'll see what other deals are going on, what other things happened. I'm still waiting to see if there's any real big dumps for products, which I don't really think are coming at this point, but you never know what's going to happen from the main company, so we'll see. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And don't forget, bring a friend to Magic. Isn't that a way of growing the consumer base as well? Bringing your friends to Magic? Who am I helping here? I'll see you guys later. So here we are at the end of the video with a big shout out and thank you to the amazing patrons and supporters of this channel. Because of their donations to the channel, daily uploaded content is made possible. So thanks again for being there and being supporters of my channel. Magic the Gathering cereal. Magic the Gathering Hot Pockets. Have you seen these things before in other countries? Yeah. Diversification. Guys, welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. You've made it to the end. But that's what we're talking about. When you see the company doing this stuff, wanting to get the TV show going on Netflix, wanting to get cartoons and images and toys into toy stores, it makes sense. If they build up a TV show, it is not for the sake of the TV show. You guys get that, right? Cartoons and TV shows are not made usually for this company to make money. They make it from the ancillary products that come afterwards. You're making it from the toy sales on Magic the Gathering action figures, on Magic the Gathering models that are premium priced. They're making money other ways, and they make a lot of it. TV shows like Supernatural and stuff that were on the air for years and years, it's all the memorabilia you could buy, all the replica stuff that was sold by the companies, and the licensing deals that make the money. Crazy stuff to think about, but this is where the company is trying to get a greater 20, 30, 40-year brand recognition, right? Where then when they make a movie, they can make the cereal, and they make a lot of money. I mean, the cereal is just a generic cereal, but they get the licensing rights from things like General Mills to make that cereal, right? They make money. They want to be on Coke cans. Coke pays them a licensing fee. They want to do action figures. Well, Hasbro's a toy company. They can make their own action figures, license it, do their own deals, get it into toy stores where they pay pennies on the dollar for the plastic, but they get to generate massive revenues from the toys. I mean, honestly, when they did the redo of the Dungeons & Dragons movie, which is not as bad as, it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. I think a little bit more dark. I like some of the jokes, but a little bit dark. I'm off topic. It doesn't matter. And when you look at the toys, though, when they did the vintage toys from the 80s, it did attract me. I didn't buy them because they were $30-something each. I didn't want to pay like $90, $120, $160. I started adding it up, and it got scarier and scarier. But it was very attractive to see those toys being produced again. It's the same as like the leader class Transformers, which used to be the regular Transformers when I was a kid. They have the kiddie versions and they have the adult versions. Well, it's a shrinking pool of kids unless they have a very successful movie. So they got to apply, appeal to the adults and apply that value to them by giving them an expensive toy that is only a parent could afford and enjoy. Crazy stuff, guys. But either way, it's where we're headed. So just keep an eye out for this stuff because that means things like the reserve list, I'm just saying, could potentially have a lot more upside than people realize when more people do get attracted to the game later on. It takes time, remember. Things like this are decades in the making, not months or years. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Hope you had a good day today. I hope you're chilling out because I went to the Santa Claus Parade yesterday in Toronto. It was amazing. So I'm actually filming this video Sunday morning before I go to the parade. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Have a good time.